Low mood is something that so many people struggle with. In fact, it is the number one cause of mental and emotional distress. And you stay in this chronic state of stress until it actually impacts you in your physical health. This is happening to so many people. My students, they come in for a therapeutic intervention, and the first thing I do is that I teach them the very thing I'm going to share with you in this video. If you have struggled, I want you to just figure out this one thing that I share with you and know that you're going to have to slow down to get this. But if you do this, you will get the same results that my clients get, which is that they anchor their mind and emotions to stability, to security. They feel good about their life again. And all it takes is to do this one thing. And we're going to jump into that right now. Stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to this week's episode, where we dive into one of the most fundamental lessons that every human being needs. And if you are someone who is like the rest of us and you fluctuate in your emotional state, you have good days and bad days, but recently you're having more bad days than good, then this is really going to help you. See, when you feel disconnected, when you feel low, when you feel like things are not going the way you want, you need to have an anchor in your life that actually stabilizes you. Like this is, in the mental health arena or space, we focus on this. Now, the Quranic Science of the Nafs, which is a psychology and a behavioral science that I train my students on, as I take them through this process, this is one of the things that I help them to master in their life, because it gives them mental and emotional stability, right? And what that means is that we can sharpen our lives without freaking out, without, reacting or being too sensitive or just struggling in our relationships or in our lives altogether. And it requires you to actually slow your mind down so you can actually consume this information and take it in. This is very much because I do, a lot of my work is therapy. And in the process of therapy, one of the things that I find is that my clients, like you, we're in a hurry to get results, right? So we're so in a hurry to get results, we just zoom straight past and we're looking for the quickest thing and the shortest hack. And those things, they never work, and they really are short term. And you know that if you want to create results in your life, you want it to be prolonged. You want it to stay, those results to stay in your life for a long period of time. So one of the fundamental things you need to do is what Allah teaches us in the Quran, which is to nurture the state of your heart into this state of remembrance. Now, this is something that, you hear people talking about, the verse, you hear it all the time, Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. It's only in the remembrance of Allah that the heart, it feels this contentment, serenity. But I want you to understand what that means when we look at it from a practical aspect of connecting to Allah. Because, if you're feeling low and you're experiencing low moods, or a fluctuation in moods, and maybe you're overwhelmed by the things that's going on in your life, one of the things that you want immediately is you want relief, right? And relief, it always comes with hardship. Allah tells us, Inna ma'al usri yusra. With the difficulty, you have the ease. So it's not like it's not there. We don't see it. So I want you to become aware of it. And I want you to think about this. This is so important that you slowed your mind down when you're having this emotional struggle, just so that you can look for the good in your life. I want you to think about what I've just said. If you look for the good in your life in the very moment that you're having the struggle, what that's going to do is that it's going to slow you down to actually appreciate that your life isn't all bad. It's not all, awful and it's going to go all wrong. You can actually slow your mind right down and feel a sense of security. I slow down in my speaking because I want you to really think about what I'm saying. When I take my students through this process, they always find themselves in a hurry. And we want that. When you're feeling pain, you want a quick relief. When you're feeling distraught, you want to, eradicate your life of whatever you think distresses you. And so we get into this behavior which actually sabotages our life. We end up having conflicts in our relationships. We end up having constant problems with the people in our lives. And what we really need is immediate stability. The immediate stability, it comes from you actually connecting yourself to Allah. How do you connect yourself to Allah? Like, if you are in your salah, this is, one of the ways of connecting. In dua, one of the ways of connecting. But the problem is, what about when that doesn't work? What about when you're doing your salah, you're giving zakah, you're doing all of the things that we're meant to do to give ourselves that inner peace, but you're not feeling it, right? You got to slow your mind down. In that very moment, you got to slow your mind down, and you have to take your thoughts to all of the blessings in your life. Like, in that moment, like, this is not what you want to do in the moment, but in that moment, when you take yourself to the blessings in your life, immediately what is going to become easier for you is that, the hardship is there, but you're going to see the ease as well. The hardship, you're feeling it, but you're going to feel the ease as well. But it's going to require you to actually slow your mind down so that you can actually feel the ease. If you don't slow your mind down, if you're in a rush, you're not ever going to feel calm. Calm doesn't happen at 100 miles an hour. Calm happens when we slow right down and we reflect on the things that we already have within our lives. So before going to look for all of the things that you're worried about not having, look at the things that you have. I know that sounds difficult if you're in the hardship, but if you're in the hardship and you do this, then you're going to find that your mind slows down and it actually follows you. You see, your mind, the Prophet ﷺ said, there's a piece of flesh in the body. If you make it good, the whole body's going to be good, right? And that's your heart. If you slow your mind down, you're going to find that the pace of your breathing, the palpitations, they will slow down. If you're experiencing palpitations of anxiety or, stress, like, they will slow down. And one of the things you can do immediately is to just slow down your breathing. And I don't mean like slow it right down, but just normalize it. Don't be panicked by your thoughts about the future or what's going wrong. Like, just bring yourself back to looking at your life, directing your mind, focusing on the things that you have already now. If you do this, what's going to happen is that your heart's going to stop racing. You're going to start to see some ease and relief immediately. This is actually very immediate. And, very often, like, those in a rush, they're not willing to do this. And because they're not willing to do this, they just rush straight past it. And I want to suggest to you that the minute you slow down, you're going to get an experience that you love. Like, the experience that you're going to love is the relief from that hardship. But it happens, in the split second that you refocus your mind on the things that are good in your life. And in that moment, you can go straight to being grateful to Allah. Now, if you're feeling at a loss, and if you're feeling low mood a lot, then you want to practice this a lot. You want to practice this as much as possible, because the moment you do this, you bring yourself back into the reality of the present moment. And in the reality of the present moment, you get to actually calm your mind down. And you will find that this is very therapeutic. You get to calm your mind down. You're breathing at a normal pace. You're breathing at a normal pace. You're breathing deeper. You're not breathing. There's not this, sharp breathing. You're not at speed anymore. Your mind is calming down. And I want you just to think about this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub." It is in that connection with Allah that the qulub, your heart, will feel reassured. It will feel okay. You will start to feel a calm and a serenity. Now, if you do that, and you do it over and over again, you're going to find that you start to actually become better in your life. And you start to do well in your life. You start to do well in your everyday life. We're not talking about in the future. Let's just stay in the present. If you can do well in the present moment of your life, then 6 months from now, your entire life will transform. If you repeat this process, this is the most fundamental skill that every human being needs to master. Like the Muslims, like, we've been blessed with this. Yet we've missed it because we've been so preoccupied with, the rituals of doing as many things as possible. And I get it. You want the reward, you want to progress, and you think if I do more, I get more. But actually, it's counterproductive, because the more you do, the less quality of life you experience. And the less you do, but the more focused you are, the more into what you do you are, the more you master it. And as you master it, you get to create results that you could never do by rushing past your life. If you're rushing through your life, missing everything, do what I'm teaching in this. Like, this is so powerful, it will change your life. If you just did this, like for the next, 7 days, just watch how you feel. It will powerfully impact you. Allah tells us in this verse, like this, when I'm training my students in the science of the nafs, when I'm training them to master their life, like the first thing I train them to do is to master the state of their mental and emotional calm. Because when you're in a mental and emotional calm, you can flourish. Because we then go on to creating amazing relationships, amazing health, amazing wealth. We get into the world of creating our dreams and our realities in the real world, like tangible results. But you can't do that if you don't get this part right. So when you're feeling at a loss, then you need to reconnect to Allah. But you need to do it using this method that I've just shared with you here. And if you do that, like I promise you, the one thing that will happen, bi'idhnillah, is that you will start to feel calm again. And when that happens, you will start to get results that you could never do if you're in a rush, if you're in a hurry, if you're overwhelmed, if you are busy doing everything trying to make something happen. Because then you're just constantly juggling a million different things. You're never going to be a specialist. If you want success in life, you have to become a specialist in your connection to your creator. It's the most fundamental skill that you need to nurture. We need to teach it to our children. We need to teach it to the next generation. We need to teach it to each other. As you go through using these skills, what you will find without a shadow of a doubt is that your mind then begins to serve you. Your mind begins to serve you. You stop feeling anxious about the future. You stop feeling overwhelmed with the amount of things you need to do. And you start to actually become calm and collected. And when you're feeling that way, then you are now like almost set in your foundations to actually flourish. There is no one that can flourish in their life with fulfillment, contentment, and truly loving their life without this one thing. This will set you up. It is prime. It is the foundation of mental health. It is the foundation of emotional health. It is the foundation of relationship health. Because when you have this calm, you don't have conflict as much as you would otherwise. You don't have this constant toing and throwing between you and other people. And you don't have this self-sabotage that happens when you're in a state of disarray, in a state of anxiety, stress, because all of that emotional stress, what it does is that it creates inflammation in your body, and then you start to feel sick, you start to feel ill, you start to feel nauseous, and you get headaches, and all of these things happen. And those are direct results of the chronic state of mental and emotional instability. But when you slow yourself down to do this, you're going to find that it helps you to build a solid foundation. And then you can start building all of those things that you want. The dreams of your life, you can have them. Allah made those for us. He says, Azza wa Jal, وَسَخَّرَ لَكُم مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Like, He has made subservient for you that which is in the heavens and the earth. Everything is for you. Allah created this creation of His, the heavens and the earth, all for you. So the thing is, if you want to enjoy it, you got to slow right down. You got to get this part right, because when you feel lost, when you feel emotionally low, when you feel like in a state of flux, is because you don't have this connection of calm. When you have this connection of calm, you will feel secure in your life and you will love your life. Inshallah, I'm going to leave you on that. If you really want to understand this, you have to practice this. You won't understand it by just watching this video. You have to do what I'm talking about, and then you will begin to see the fruits in your life, inshallah. I'll leave you on that. Assalamu alaikum. Hey guys, thanks for listening in on this podcast. If you are ready to up-level your mind, emotions, and relationships using a Quranic solution, you're going to love this podcast and what we are going to be sharing over the coming episodes. This is the most fundamental training that you're going to go through in your life. You can use it to transform your life, your mental and emotional health, your relationships, how you parent, how you are in your marriage, and truly your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you are loving this and you want more of it, click subscribe, or if you want one of our free trainings, go to themuslimlifecoach.org and sign up for the free training. You're going to love it. I'll see you on the inside. Jazakumullah khair.